Hello and welcome everyone. It's my pleasure today to introduce the tool number 5 in the Magic Tools family, the WBS Magic Tool. It can be used to design and create the WBS by very simple methods. You will be able in just a few minutes to create the WBS of any size. You can import the WBS directly into Primavera as an XER file. You can get the output in 16 different formats. It can read and draw up to 50 WBS of any projects directly from the XER files at a time. All operations will be performed by Excel. It can support up to 50 WBS levels and 20 loops. It supports the normal and nested loops. It has 16 projects as ready-made examples included in the software. You don't need any deep experience to use the WBS Magic Tool. I hope that you can see the complete video to be able to apply all features of the WBS Magic Tool. In case of any comment or question, don't hesitate to contact me at these two addresses. In the near future, it will be another tools in the Magic Tool family. Therefore, I hope that you can follow this YouTube channel. This presentation doesn't discuss the types or the importance of the WBS. It concentrates only on how you can use the WBS Magic Tool to create the WBS. The start screen of the software will be like this. You will get the WBS Magic Tool and one Excel sheet with this name, WBS High Levels. If you need loops for your project, you can add loops from this option. As you see, loop number 1, loop number 2, loop number 3, and so on. After you finish with the loops, you can delete them from this option. The main rules to work with the WBS Magic Tool are the following. The main WBS will be drawn in the sheet WBS High Levels. In the sheet WBS High Levels, you can draw the main WBS of the project. The project name will be the only WBS element at the top of the first column. This is the project name. Each row of the table contains only one WBS element. Each row will contain only one WBS element. Make sure there are no empty columns or rows in your WBS data. Your WBS data must be connected without any empty columns or any empty rows. You can use the normal and nested loops as it will be explained. As you see, this is level number 1 and this is level number 2, level number 3. Each column represents one level. You have up to 50 level in the project WBS. Each row will contain only WBS element. This is the direction of the WBS elements with high levels, and this is the direction of the WBS elements with low levels. This column is the parent of column number 2, and column number 2 is the parent of column number 3, and so on. You should finish with any WBS element and all of its sons or branches before you can start with the next WBS element. Let us start with this very simple example to see how the WBS Magic Tool can create the WBS. The project name is Master Villas. The elements of the second level are these 4 main WBS elements. One of them, the construction, has 10 villas numbered from 1 to 10. And the WBS of all villas is the same like this. This is the diagram of the WBS. We have here the project name at the top of the first level, and in the second level we have 4 main WBS elements. One of them has 10 villas, the WBS of each one of them like this, and we need to repeat this WBS 10 times for the 10 villas. In other words, we can divide this WBS into 2 parts. The main part will contain the main WBS elements, and the other part is the loop, and this loop will be repeated 10 times. Let us see how the WBS Magic Tool will create this WBS. We will go to the Excel. This is the WBS Magic Tool, and this is the same diagram. We will divide this WBS into 2 parts. This is the first part. We'll copy the first part and put it here. This is the name of the project at the top of the first column, and these are the 4 main WBS elements. Now we need one loop to repeat this WBS 10 times. Add a new loop. This is the loop number 1. Now we will copy the WBS of the loop. As we know, the WBS of the loop should start at the third column. The second column will contain the elements of the loop. This is the first element of the loop. Paste it here, and now this element will be repeated 10 times for the 10 villas, and now we need only the linking elements at which this WBS will be merged in the main WBS of this project. This is the main element. Copy it and paste it here. Now the 2 parts are complete, and we can start to create the WBS of this project. We will start with this option. We will create the WBS as table. As you see, the WBS Magic Tool completed the task, and now we have this WBS as a table. As you see, these are the elements of the WBS, and these are the WBS codes, and this is the WBS of the parent. As you see here, we have 4 options. We will discuss these 4 options later, but now we will create the WBS as chart. Let us create the WBS as chart. The chart is complete, and this is the WBS of the project name, the 4 main WBS elements, and now we have 10 villas. Each of them has the same WBS. As you see, these are the elements of all villas, and now we will create the WBS as PDF. It takes some time according to the size of the project. the PDF is complete. Let us open this PDF, search for the file. This is the file, master values. Open. As you see, this is the WBS as PDF. This is the table and this is the diagram as PDF. And now let us create the WBS as XCR file to import it directly to Primavera. The XCR file is complete. Now we will go to Primavera and import this project. Next, this is our project. Import. This is our project. Open. Next, finish. The import was successful. This is the project and this is the WBS. As you see, this is the WBS in Primavera. This is the project name, the 4 elements of the WBS of the second level. And now this is our loop: villa number 1, villa number 2, villa number 3, and so on. As you see, we have created the WBS of this simple project in 4 formats. The first output was as table, the second output was as charts, and the third output was as PDF, and the last output was as an XCR file. We have another 4 options here. These options can be used to get the WBS in different format. We have used this unique option. Let us create the charts again. This is the chart and this is the table. As you see, we have unique WBS. Each WBS name or each WBS element has a unique WBS code. Let us create it as table. We can explain it here. As you see, each WBS has a unique WBS code. Some planners prefer to use the unique codes. If you prefer to use similar codes like this, you can choose this option. Let us create it again as a table. As you see, we have now different WBS codes, and we have similar WBS codes for the same WBS elements. This is the villa number 1 foundation till external works. It starts from this WBS code till this WBS code, and for the villa number 2, it starts from the same. As you see, these are the same WBS codes. In the first option, all codes were unique. Another option in this project, we can add the name of the first parent to the WBS name. There are some planners and engineers prefer also to add the WBS name of the parent to the same WBS in order to make it more clear. Let us use this option and create the table again. As you see, we have now the WBS codes, and each WBS has its parent, and it may be more clear when you read the WBS name like this. And if we create it as charts, we will add the parent name. As you see, we have now the chart. This is the WBS, and this is the parent of this WBS, and so on. This is the WBS, and this is the parent of this WBS. And it may be clear when you read it. If you prefer this option, you can use similar WBS codes. If you prefer to use the unique WBS codes, you can use this option. If you prefer to add the name of the first parent to the WBS name, you can use this option. This was the first example, and we will start now with another example to see how the WBS Magic Tool will create the WBS if it has nested loops. Before we start with the nested loop, let us make a very fast summary of the normal loop. You can use the normal loop to repeat the same WBS with a group of elements. You can use up to 20 loops in the same project. The loops start from the sheet loop 1 and then loop 2 till loop 20. The repeated WBS of the loop starts at the third column. It must start at the third column. The WBS of the loop will be repeated with all elements in the second column. The first column is allocated to the linking elements at which the loop will be merged with the main WBS diagram in the WBS high levels sheet. For example, let us see this example. This WBS will be repeated with these elements, and then it will be linked with this element in the main diagram, and also this WBS will be repeated with these WBS elements, and then it will be merged with this element in the main diagram. The last step in this example, this WBS will be repeated with these elements, and then it will be also merged with this item in the main diagram. This was a fast summary for the normal loop, and now we will start with the nested loop. The second example will explain how you can use the nested loop with the WBS Magic Tool. Create a WBS for the following project. Project name King University. The project consists of 10 buildings. These are the names of the 10 buildings. The WBS of each building consists of these elements: substructure works, ground floor, first floor, second floor, and the third floor. The WBS of the substructure is as shown in this diagram, and the WBS of all other elements is as the following. This is the WBS of the other elements for the ground floor, first floor, second floor, and the third floor. As you see, this WBS will be repeated with the first floor, second floor, and third floor. Will be as a loop, and then get the WBS for one building, which will be also repeated with these 10 buildings. This is the main idea. In other words, we have an inner loop and an outer loop. Just we finish with the inner loop, we can start the outer loop. This inner loop will be repeated with ground floor, first floor, second floor, third floor. After we finish, this loop will be merged with the outer loop, and this outer loop will be repeated with the 10 buildings. How we can apply that with the WBS Magic Tool? Let us go to Excel, and we will load this example. This is the King University. Let us load it. Yes. As you see, now this example is ready to be executed by the WBS Magic Tool. In the WBS high levels, we have only the name of the project, and as I have explained, we have two loops. The first one is the inner loop. This is the inner loop, and this is the WBS of the inner loop. Starts at the third column, and then this WBS will be repeated with these 4 elements: ground floor, first floor, second floor, third floor. The difference between the inner loop and the outer loop: in the first column, in the inner loop, we will name the WBS like the same name of the sheet. This sheet loop number 1, and this inner loop will be with the same name, loop 1. After we finish with this loop will be transferred to the outer loop. As you see, the WBS of the outer loop starts also at the third column. This is WBS of the substructure, and then the inner loop will be merged here for the ground floor, the first floor, the second floor, and the third floor. After this WBS will be merged here, this WBS will be repeated with these 10 buildings, and then it will be merged with the project name. This is the idea of the nested loop. As you see, it's very simple, and you will get in a few minutes this complete WBS in 16 formats. Let us execute this WBS. You can get it as table, as charts, as PDF, and you can import it directly to Primavera. You can also use these 4 options to get this WBS with similar WBS codes or unique WBS codes, and you can also add the name of the first parent to the WBS name. After the WBS Magic Tool completed this task, you will get this WBS for this project like this. Here the WBS codes, here the WBS name, and here the level of each one of these WBS names. As you see, this was the WBS of the substructure, and here we start with the inner loop, ground floor, first floor, second floor, and third floor. After we finish with the inner loop, it will be merged with the substructure for building number 1, and then we will start with building number 2 with the substructure, and then the inner loop, and again with the outer loop. As you see, this is the inner loop, and then start with the outer loop. Now we will make a very fast summary for the nested loop. You can use the nested loop to repeat the WBS in 2 loops, inner and outer. Inner loop and outer loop. The inner loop must precede the outer loop that will use it. The inner loop, if I start the inner loop in the sheet loop number 1, then the outer loop must be in loop 2 or 3 or 4. I cannot use the inner loop in sheet number 7 or 8 and then the outer loop in the sheet number 1 or number 2. The inner loop must precede the outer loop. The inner loop must have the same name as the sheet which contains it. This is the inner loop and this is the name of the sheet. As you see, the name of the loop in the first column is the same name of the sheet. The inner loop represents a part of other loops, and it cannot be merged directly with the main WBS in WBS high levels. The outer loop can contain more than one inner loop, and it can merge it directly with the main WBS in the WBS high levels. Both WBS of the inner and outer loop starts at the third column. The WBS starts at the third column in inner loop, and it also starts at the third column in the outer loop. In the inner loop, the first column contains only the name of the inner loop. Here at the first column, we have only one item, the name of the inner loop. In the outer loop, the first column is allocated the linking elements at which the loop will be merged with the main WBS diagram in the WBS high levels sheet. Here in the first column, in the outer loop, we will copy the linking elements at them. The WBS will be merged in the main diagram. As you see, we have here the name of the project King University. In the first column, we have the same name, King University. After the WBS Magic Tool will finish this WBS diagram, it will merge it directly with the King University. In both inner and outer loops, the WBS will be repeated with all WBS elements in the second column. This is the same idea. This WBS in the inner loop will be repeated with all of these items, and this WBS in the outer loop will be repeated with all of these elements in the outer loop. You can also calculate how many WBS codes you will get from this project. For example, in this project, the WBS elements of this project, the main project will produce only one WBS code, and then the inner loop will have 4 elements, and then these 4 elements will be repeated 15 times, and the inner loop will contain 64 WBS elements. The outer loop will contain these 64 elements of the inner loop, these 64 elements, plus these 12 WBS elements, and then this will be repeated 10 times, plus these WBS elements so the total will be 760 plus 10, 770, and the total elements will be 770 plus 1, you will get 771. This is the total WBS codes in this project. We'll go again to Excel. The last remark here, you have here in the WBS Magic Tool 16 projects. You can load them directly, and you can see how the WBS Magic Tool will create these projects, and you can create them in different formats. The last feature of the WBS Magic Tool, you can get the WBS of any Primavera project as a chart from these options. You can get the charts for one file, and if you have more than one Primavera project, you can put all of these files in one folder, and the WBS Magic Tool will draw the WBS for all files in this folder. It can draw up to 50 projects in one time. You can also download more examples. These are the examples, this ready-made examples with the WBS Magic Tool, and here you have more examples. You can download tens of projects from these links. These are the projects that I have included with the WBS Magic Tool, and these are extra examples. You can download them from these links. If you prefer the similar WBS codes, use this option. Unique WBS codes, use this option. Similar with parent and unique with parent. If you cannot download this project from these links, you can use this option. Choose what you prefer from these options and generate the required code. Send this code to me at one of these addresses, and I will send you these extra examples. This was how you can use the WBS Magic Tool, and how you can create any WBS for any Primavera projects in just a few minutes, and how you can use the WBS Magic Tool to get the charts of any Primavera project. Until we meet with a new member of the Magic Tools family, goodbye and good luck.